there are two sides or two lengths are given in a triangle, and the question required us to find the other length or the other angle, we can use sine rule to solve these triangles. Hello everybody, this is Arvis. Welcome to Arvis Mathematics channel. In this episode, we are going to look at solution of triangles which involving sine rule. Without further ado, let's look at the following example. Alright, let's get started now. So today's lesson is about sine rule. So what is about sine rule? Yeah, actually sine rule applies for a triangle. So if let's say we have a triangle ABC here, right? And then I want you all to know this concept, that is whatever length opposite the angle is denoted by the small letter, right? Okay, so for this capital A, the length opposite the capital A is the small a here, right? Meanwhile, for B, then the opposite angle B will be small b. And then lastly, angle C, whatever the length opposite the angle C will be the small c, alright? So based on the sine rule, actually the formula will be A over sine A equals B over sine B equals C over sine C. Okay, so the small letter A, B, C on top is mean we need to find the length, yeah? So whenever we need to find the length, that means we need to apply this formula. A over sine A equals B over sine B equals C over sine C, right? So in other words, if let's say the question asking us to find the angle, so which means that we need to start from sine A over A equals sine B over B, and that will be equals to sine C over C as well, right? So in conclusion, sine rule, we have two formula there, right? So you can either use the first when the question is asking us to find the length, or we use the second formula when the question is asking us to find the angle, right? Okay, so let's look at the first example here. Okay, so wait for me a while here. Alright, if let's say we have this kind of question, yeah? So let's say this angle is 62, here is 47, and here is 5 cm, and the question asks us to find this value of x. Alright, so based on the sine rule, okay, so since the question is asking us to find the length, right? So that means we need to start from the small letter, which is the length. Here is x over, and the angle opposite, the length will be sine 62 equals to, so since we start from the length here, so that means on top we must put the length here. So here is 5 over sine, the opposite angle will be 47 degree. Okay, so which lead us to 5 over sine 47. So this one divided by sine 62, you move it over to the right hand side, become times sine 62, right? So if you use this in your calculator, you just type everything in your calculator, you will get, what's the answer? You will get 6.04 centimeter when you round it off to 3 significant figures, right? So this is your final answer. Okay, so next one, we need to look at the second question here. So what if we have this kind of question here? So let's start here. We have a triangle here. Okay, let's say here is 140 degree and here is 28 degree, and the length opposite the angle here is B. Meanwhile, the length opposite the angle 28 degree is 17 centimeter. Okay, so same as the previous example, right? So the question asks us to find the length, so that means we need to start from B over the opposite angle is sine 140 equals to the length is 17, yeah, over the opposite angle will be sine 28. Okay, so B equals to 17 over sine 28 times with sine 140, okay, which gives us the answer will be 23.3 cm as your final answer after we round it off to 3 significant figures. Okay, so far so good, yeah? Alright, so next part, what if we have this kind of question?
let's see here. We have this triangle. This is 40 degree. This is x. This is 8 cm, and this will be 12 centimeter. Okay, and this question is a bit different from the previous questions, where this question asks us to find the angle, right? Angle x. So which means that we need to start from sine x on top. Okay, so whenever the question asks us to find the angle, that means we need to start from sine x over the opposite length will be 12 equals to sine 40 degree, right? And then the opposite length will be 8. And we move over the 12 to right hand side, then we'll get sine 40 degree over 8 times 12. And when you type it in your calculator, you will get 0.96418, and your x will be, so you need to type this shift sign, okay, sine negative 1, 0.96418, and your final answer here will give you 74.6 degrees Celsius after we roll it off to one decimal place. Okay, alright, so next question, question number 4 and the last question of today's lesson. Okay, so what if we have this kind of question here? Okay, so let's say we have this triangle. Here is 75 degree. Here is B. No, the B is not given. Let's say, for example, let's say here is A, right? And here is 5.2 cm. And then lastly, here is 6.2 cm. Okay, so first of all, ask yourself whether all this satisfy the sine rule requirement. So first of all, we have the length opposite the angle, right? But what makes this question different from the previous one is the length, the angle opposite here, right? The length opposite the angle here is not given, okay? But what we know is the length of this side is given, which means that we need to find this angle first, yeah? So this angle, let's say we denote this angle as B. Okay, so we can use sine rule again. Since the question asks us to use this, find the angle of B, right? Actually, we need to find the angle of B. Then we need to start from sine B first, over 5.2 equals to, and this angle 75 is given, so we put sine 75 over the opposite line, which is 6.2. Right? So next, you type it in your calculator. So first of all, you move 5.2 to the right hand side, and here you will get sine 75 over 6.2 times 5.2, and sine B will give you 0.81013, yeah? So we don't write it off first, and your B will be sine power negative 1, 0.81013, which is 54.1086 degree. Alright, this one we don't write it off first, we just leave it in this answer, 54.1086. Alright, and to find angle A, right, actually we knew that the sum of the angles in a triangle is 180 degree. Yeah, 180 degree. So that means we need to take 180 minus 75 minus the angle B just now, which is 54.1086, and this will be our answer for A. So the final answer of A, if you type this in your calculator, you will get 50.9 degree as your final answer if you round it off to one decimal place. Alright?
Here comes to the end of this episode. If you like this video, like it, share it among your friends, and most importantly is subscribe to our channel so that you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. I will see you on the next episode. See you soon. Take care. Bye.